Hey everyone, welcome back to Gadgets Pod Tried and Tested. Today I'm going to show you how to write Raspberry Pi OS onto an SD card using the brand new Raspberry Pi Imager 2.0. With the updated Wizard interface, this process is now easier, cleaner, and perfect for beginners. So let's jump straight in. All right, before we move ahead, there are a few things you need to keep ready. The very first step is to download Raspberry Pi Imager 2.0. To do that, head over to the official Raspberry Pi software page. I've added the link in the description below. Once you're on the page, you'll notice that Imager is available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and of course Raspberry Pi OS itself. Choose the version that matches your computer. I'm downloading the Windows version here, but the installation process is pretty much the same for all platforms. Now that the Raspberry Pi Imager setup file is downloaded, let's go ahead and install it. Just double-click the installer. On the installation window, select your preferred language. Click Next, accept the license agreement, and keep all settings as default. Hit Install, wait a few seconds, and then click Finish. The Raspberry Pi Imager will launch automatically. Next we need is a micro SD card, preferably 32 GB or 64 GB class 10. I always recommend 32 GB as the minimum, even if you're a beginner on a budget. It gives you more room for updates, apps, and files without worrying about storage. If you're in a hurry, here are the 3 best SD cards for Raspberry Pi. Official Raspberry Pi SD card, best overall, and the fastest for most users. SanDisk Ultra, best value for money. SanDisk Extreme, best choice if you want larger sizes up to 1 terabyte. Next, you'll need an SD card reader to connect the micro SD card to your computer. If your laptop has a built-in slot, great. If not, any USB card reader will work just fine. Once you have these ready, we can move on to flashing Raspberry Pi OS using the Imager. All right, let's jump into the Raspberry Pi Imager. The first step in the new wizard is to select your Raspberry Pi device. Click on the option that says Select Device, and you'll see a list of all Raspberry Pi models. Choose the one you're using, for example, Raspberry Pi 5, Raspberry Pi 4, Raspberry Pi 3, or even older models if you're using them. Selecting your exact model helps the Imager apply the right settings, optimizations, and compatibility checks before flashing the OS. Once you've selected your device, we can move on to the next step, choosing the operating system. Under the Choose OS option, you'll find a complete list of operating systems that the Raspberry Pi Imager supports. Raspberry Pi OS is now available in both 32-bit and 64-bit editions. Not all Raspberry Pi boards support the 64-bit version, but for newer models like the Raspberry Pi 4 and Raspberry Pi 5, a 64-bit OS can give you noticeably better performance. So make sure to check the compatibility list before you choose. For most users, the recommended option is Raspberry Pi OS 32-bit. It's stable, lightweight, and perfect for everyday use. If you want a minimal command line only setup, you can select Raspberry Pi OS Lite. And if you're using an older board or facing compatibility issues, you'll also find legacy versions of Raspberry Pi OS. You'll also notice other operating systems like Ubuntu RetroPie, Home Assistant Media Center, OS options, and more. But for this video, we'll go ahead with Raspberry Pi OS because it's the best starting point for beginners and works smoothly on all recent Raspberry Pi models. Once you've selected your OS, click Next to proceed. Next, we move on to selecting the storage device. Before you proceed, make sure the option Exclude System Drive is checked. This ensures that your computer's internal storage is hidden so you don't accidentally select and overwrite your system drive. Now, connect your micro SD card to your computer using an SD card reader. As soon as you plug it in, the Raspberry Pi Imager will automatically detect it and show it in the list. Select your SD card from the list, and remember a quick warning here. All the data on this micro SD card will be completely erased during the flashing process. So make sure to back up anything important before moving ahead. Once you're ready, we can proceed to the next step. Now we're at the most important part of Raspberry Pi Imager 2.0, the system configuration settings. This is where all the magic happens. In the new Imager, customization is built right into the setup wizard, so you can configure everything before your Pi even boots for the first time. You'll start with the host name, which is basically the name your Raspberry Pi will use on your network. You can call it anything you like, something simple and recognizable so you can easily spot it later when connecting remotely. Next, you'll see your location settings. Here you can select your country, language, and time zone. Setting these correctly ensures your keyboard layout, time, and regional preferences work perfectly right from the first boot. Then comes the user account section. This is where you set your default username and password. Raspberry Pi OS no longer uses the old Pi default user for security reasons, so you'll need to create your own here. Make sure to choose a password that's easy for you to remember but still secure. Next, under the Wi-Fi section, you can preset your wireless network. If you want your Raspberry Pi to connect automatically, just enter your Wi-Fi name and password here. The Imager will save these details to the SD card so your Pi connects to your network the moment it boots. You'll also find remote access options. This includes SSH. If you plan to control your Raspberry Pi from another computer without connecting a monitor and keyboard, enabling SSH here is super helpful. You can choose a password login or even add your SSH public keys for secure access. A standout new feature in Imager 2.0 is the ability to pre-configure Raspberry Pi Connect. This lets you link your Pi to your account during imaging, so features like remote screen sharing and secure shell access work instantly on first boot. No extra setup needed. You can skip this step if you want, but if you'd like to set it up now, let's do it. First, toggle Enable Raspberry Pi Connect. You'll now see a button to open Raspberry Pi Connect. Click on it. This will open a web page where you can either sign in with an existing Raspberry Pi account or create a new one. If you don't have an account yet, just click Create One for free and fill out the registration form. After you submit it, a confirmation email will be sent to the address you used. Open that email and click the verification link to activate your account. Once that's done, return to Raspberry Pi Imager and click Open Raspberry Pi Connect again. This time, you'll be given an option to create a new authorization key. Click Create Authorization Key and launch Raspberry Pi Imager. The Imager will reopen with your authorization key automatically filled in, and you can simply click Next to continue. And now you're all set to write Raspberry Pi OS onto your SD card. Go ahead and click Write. When you click Write, the Imager will warn you that all data on the SD card will be erased. Make sure you've backed up anything important before proceeding. Writing process can take a few minutes, depending on the speed of your SD card, so just sit back and let it complete. During this time, the tool will first write the image and then verify it to make sure everything is correctly saved. Once the progress bar reaches 100% and you see the Write Successful message, your SD card is fully prepared and ready to go. Now it's time to safely remove your SD card from the card reader and insert it into your Raspberry Pi. This is the moment we find out if everything works perfectly. Before we boot it up, let me quickly show you something special. This is my Raspberry Pi 5 connected to the Raspberry Pi Display 2 and neatly housed in the WaveShare Display 2 case, a compact and clean setup I recently built. If you want to see how I assembled this entire setup, I've made a separate video for it, so be sure to check that out. All right, let's continue. I'll insert the SD card into the Raspberry Pi 5, power it on, and you'll see the system boot up with everything we configured earlier. The host name, you set your Wi-Fi details, your user account, location settings, interface preferences, and even Raspberry Pi Connect. if you enabled it. All of it is applied automatically, so your Raspberry Pi is ready to use right from the very first boot. And that's it. If you found this useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Raspberry Pi tutorials and projects. And if you want to see the build of this Raspberry Pi 5 with the Display 2 setup, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.